Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from HolsingersFlyShop.com. Today I'm tying a dry fly for you. I know I don't tie dry flies that often, and I need to practice them more, so I've been practicing them more. And I've been working on wings lately. I've been practicing my wet fly wings a little bit, and I still got some work to go on them, but I've been working on my dry fly wings too, using wood duck, or actually mallard quills. And this is one that uses them. This pattern, the Red Quill, is one of my favorite flies because it was one of the very first flies that I ever caught a fish on a dry fly on, a trout on a dry fly on. And it was when I was young up at Kettle Creek. I was real young. All I can remember is there was a Red Quill hatch coming off, and I think I actually was floating a gray hackle red. I think I just took and greased up a gray hackle red real good with some floating and ended up catching catching trout on it. And so the Red Quill is always stuck in my mind. It was one of my favorite hatches. So when I wanted to tie a pattern today, I thought, well, I'm going to tie a Red Quill. And so here you go, guys. You're going to see the picture of the fly in the vise and the materials I used to tie it. And you can use some different things. You could use synthetic quills if you want. Just use whatever you got. The method I'm using here with stripping the Peacock Herl is pretty easy to do, and it doesn't break that hard if you don't pull on it. It doesn't break that easy, I should say, if you don't pull on it too hard. So give it a try. I hope you like the looks of it, and here's a picture. Okay, here we go. We got the fly in the vise. Take a good look at it there. It's a nice Catskill style dry fly, and let's get into tying it. For a hook, what we're going to use is a Firehole 419 in a size 14. Let me get it straightened out there a little bit. There we go. And for thread, we're going to use some 70 Denier Red Ultra thread. And I'm just going to start it in the middle there and work back towards the bend. Okay, we'll trim off our tag. And for a tail, I'm just going to use some Coq De Leon. This is medium Pardo, some tailing fibers. I use this for pretty much everything, dry flies, nymphs. And we're going to take 6 or 8 of them there. And what I want is a little bit shorter than the length of the body. So we'll hold it there where we want it, make a couple wraps, check it out, a little long there, so I'm going to shorten it up. And then we're just going to wrap back to the bend again. Okay, now where I want to stop it is where it goes straight off the back like you see there. If it tends to bend over a little bit, you went too far. So we just want it to stop it right there. And then we're going to trim the front end off there, the butts. And then I'm going to come up here towards the eye now. Now the next thing I'm going to use is a wood duck flank feather. This one, sorry, is a mallard flank. Or you could use wood duck, but this one is mallard dyed wood duck. And what I'm going to do is all that fluff at the bottom, I'm going to peel all that off just to get it out of the way so I can see what I'm working with. And I'm going to use equal amounts from both sides. Okay, the shaft of the feather runs down the middle, so I'm just going to peel back on both sides an equal amount here. And I'll set it down on my vise peel the one side and set it down. And then I'm going to peel the other side. And I'm going to lay it on top. Actually, this side I'm going to have to trim. I pulled a little hard there. So I'll trim that side. And now I'm going to lay these. You see how it's got that natural curve? I'm going to lay the curve against the curve. So it'll be a match set, but they'll be, the back side of the feathers will be facing each other. Now, I'm going to do that. and I'm going to put all the tips together. Make sure all the tips go together and they're the same length. And once I do that, I'm going to lay this on the hook, see what size I want, and then I'm going to come up here, and I don't want too long. I want this just a hair longer than the length of the hook gap there, okay? Not much longer, because that's the ideal length of your hackle, and I don't want to be too much longer than my hackle. So we're just going to set them on top, and we're going about a third of the way back here. I should have added there. So set them on top, and we're going to tie them down. Okay, that looks good like that. Now I'm going to take these, I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to cut this at a sharp angle. And that way I can taper this down. Okay. And now let's go back here, and we're going to make our quill body. To make our quill body, I'm going to take a piece of dyed red ostrich herl, or peacock herl I mean, and the butt section of it, about halfway up, I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm just going to run that through my thumbnail. And as you do it there, you see those hackle fibers or whatever they are on there, the little shiny stuff, just peels right off. You can do it with a pencil too, a pencil eraser, but you can do it really slick and easy with your thumb. And there you have a quill. So we're going to tie this down then. I'm just going to break that in half. There we go. And I'm going to tie that butt section down and have that nice long quill and wrap it back towards the tail. And then keeping this nice and smooth, I'm going to wrap that back up towards the wing. And then we're just going to wrap our quill on. And we're going to make a nice segmented quill body out of this, since it is a red quill. The Peacock, natural Peacock is nice to work with. This is dyed. It's nice too, from Nature Spirit. And we're just going to tie that off there. You can see you got a segmented body. Nice quill body. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our wings and we're going to peel them back. And I'm going to make some wraps in front. What I want to do is I want to stand it up. I want to taper back into it so these stand up in the air, okay, like this. And then I'm going to take my bodkin and I'm going to split them in half. So I get two wings out of this. And once I get them split in half, I'm just going to tease them apart, and then I'm going to wrap in between them. And I'm going to go a couple each way. And this will give you a split set of wings. Okay, there you can see I have two wings coming off of this. And they don't need to be real big. And they'll blend in with the hackle nice here in a second. The next thing I'm going to do is put my hackle on. For my hackle, I'm using a Dun saddle hackle feather. You can use a cape if you have a cape instead. But we're just going to tie this off and make a couple wraps up here. And get this wrapped in nice. A couple behind. Make sure those wings stay standing up. Looking good there. You see they're still separated. And where we want them. So now I'm just going to take my hackle and I'm going to wrap my hackle on, and I'm going to try to get about 3 or 4 wraps behind. And I'm going to make sure I tease these back, and I'm going to get 3 or 4 good wraps in front, and we will tie it off. Okay, you see I got a nice covering of hackle there that'll float nice. Trim this off here. Oops, there we go. I'm trying not to cut any of the hackle fibers when I trim it off, trying to be nice and neat about it. Okay. Now, one thing you can do is I like to take, my bodkin has a hole in it. A lot of times with dry flies, I at least do 1/2 hitch because I can kind of put it back and hold it where I want it. And then I'm going to do a whip finish with it, just to get a little bit better knot than a 1/2 inch. Okay, and there you go. That's not a very hard one to tie. It's going to take some practice to get them wings. They're a little bit tall up here, you can see, but they're still right on top of the fly where we want them, and separated. And you can see I can trim up if you want to clean this up a little bit. I like to come back in, trim them in the back here a little bit, straighten it up. There, cleaned it up a little bit there for you. So that's all that's to it. It's not that hard to tie, guys. Alright guys, I hope you like that fly. Like I said, it's one of those special flies for me because it's one of the first flies that I've ever caught a fish on a dry fly with. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't a dry fly. I'm pretty sure it was a wet fly that I just put a bunch of floating on to make it float because they were taking red quills. And so I always liked the red quills. It was always a thing whenever I saw them every year. It just brought back a memory. So I like to tie them. Anyhow guys, give this fly a try. If you don't have red ones, tie it as a ginger quill or a quill Gordon. Tie this same fly except use a natural colored quill, and it'll be a productive pattern, I promise you. It's just a great pattern, all around pattern. Just change the colors to fit your hatch. So give this fly a try, and if you need any of the materials, like always, head down in the description. Give us a thumbs up if you like it, and come back next week when I bring you another fly tying video. Until then guys, I'm Sean Holsinger.